Cancer is an insidious disease. It strikes you when you least expect it. It often hides out. It comes back when you least expect it. It might hide out again and come back. And I think that's why a number of us refer to it as an insidious disease, because in fact that is what it is. I think it makes you, I hate to use a cliche, but it makes you appreciate how precious life is, because having lost family members and friends who were so close to me that it really causes you to rethink your whole life, what you might want to do for the rest of your life. It causes you to have a lot of uncertainty about the future, quite frankly. A number of people use the term cancer-free. I never use the term cancer-free because I've learned that once you have cancer, the odds of it reoccurring or occurring elsewhere in the body go up exponentially. And I don't think we ever can be guaranteed that we are cancer-free. So for me personally, I sort of jolt when I hear that expression because it's not necessarily true. Another thing, many people talk about battling cancer. And my wife taught me really a different perspective on that. And she said, you know, a battle is something that you choose to get into. And she said, I didn't choose to get into this battle. So she always resented and avoided the term battling cancer. And I know many people use that, but that's maybe a different perspective that she had that certainly was very enlightening to me. I think everybody's experience with cancer is different. It's unique. You know, the whole plan of treatment can be unique. But I think we all need to be over the hurdle of feeling afraid to reach out. Because the more you can reach out and say, I care, I'd like to understand, I'd like to help, here are some things I certainly could do for you. And maybe there's other things you could think of that I could help out with. And I always say to people, I have a favorite expression, and that is, asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And it's the very smart person who knows when to ask for help. And I think that all of us who have found ourselves in the situation of being diagnosed with cancer need to be over that hurdle and not be afraid to reach out and ask for help. And likewise, our friends, our caregivers, need to be over that hurdle as well and be willing to say, I really want to help. I really do care. I'd like to learn from it. I'd like to give you some help in any way that I can. I believe if we keep working at this together, we are going to find a cure. And I say that from my own personal experience. When I was a little boy growing up in Massachusetts in the 1950s, I was part of a test program for what became known as the Salk vaccine, which was the cure for polio, but at the time we didn't know if it was going to be the cure. But having been part of that and having seen the cure come from that, that's a real personal experience for me. The other thing that I would say to parents, to alumni in the community, is that we truly have the most successful collegiate relay in the country here at Virginia Tech, and have had that now for 3 years in a row. And I'll repeat something that I said when I was asked to give the commencement address in December. I thought it was sort of curious that Virginia Tech, that is not by any means the largest school in the country in terms of students, had the most successful Relay for Life, Collegiate Relay for Life. And I had the opportunity to meet the director of Collegiate Relays when he visited us last year. And I said to him, why is it that the larger schools like Texas and Ohio State and Michigan State and Arizona, why is it that they don't raise more money than we do? Because they have many more students than we do. And he looked at me and he said, you know, having visited all these relays in so many of these schools, and having visited you here now at Virginia Tech, he said, I have to say, it is this special thing that you call the Hokie spirit that really makes the difference. And I think the results show that. I guess one thing I would say is thank you. Thank you for being here tonight, either physically or virtually, or in retrospect if you see this later. Thank you for caring enough to participate. Thank you for joining us in finding that cure.